Howdy, friends. Welcome to Repertoire. This is a show about the ideas, experiences, philosophies, and rituals that shape who we are as chefs and cooks. I'm Sammy Mansour, a Michelin award-winning chef, cookbook author, and food activist. My life revolves around food and cooking, and I love geeking out about the craft and the culture. In each episode, I travel somewhere new to sit down with chefs on their turf for honest, unfiltered conversations. We talk shop, we go deep, we cook. Today, I'm in Santa Monica, sitting down with one of California's most beloved and influential chefs. Susan Feniger is a culinary icon. Chef, restaurateur, author, and Food Network trailblazer whose career has spanned more than 4 decades. Chef, I just want to throw a little ad lib in here. You opened up your first restaurant before I was born, and I've been working in restaurants for 30 years. That makes you a quadruple OG.
Let's not talk about how old I am.
Okay, no,
Although, no, I know. It's amazing.
it is amazing.
I'm sort of blown away at times by, some of, like yourself, younger chefs coming up. It's like, oh my God, I've been having a restaurant before you were born.
Yeah, I love it. It gives me the goosebumps. So after early years cooking in Chicago, Los Angeles, and France, she and longtime business partner Mary Sue Milliken opened City Café in 1981, City Restaurant soon after, and in 1985, the groundbreaking Border Grill, a restaurant that helped redefine how Angelenos and beyond experience modern Mexican food. Her work has been celebrated again and again, and at this stage in her career, she's taking home lifetime achievement trophies, like the prestigious Julia Child Award, the LA Times Gold Award, and the California Restaurant Association's Lifetime Achievement Award. And oh yeah, the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History preserves small dishes from her first restaurant as part of its food history collection. Yet, here she is, full of energy, beaming with joy, and still playing an active role in her kitchens and restaurants. Here in Santa Monica, Susan's cooking shines at Socolo, a vibrant California canteen where her food is as lively and approachable as it is thoughtful. From tacos and ceviches to creative cocktails and market-driven small plates, it carries her signature blend of bold flavors, cultural curiosity, and a genuine love for gathering community and feeding people. For me, this is a special episode. Susan isn't just a chef I admire, she's someone who paved the way for so many in this industry, showing us all what it means to lead with compassion, mindfulness, and a deep respect for the craft. Chef, it is a huge honor to be sitting here with you today.
Thank you so much. That was, I think you were being overly generous, but thank you.
That was a cliff note in your resume.
Well,
I had to
been
skip
around.
30 years worth of awards to just go to the Lifetime Achievement ones.
Boy, that Smithsonian one was the coolest.
That's incredible.
That was amazing. That was surreal, I have to say. Combining Julie and that, but then walking in for the dinner that night, you're walking past the Batmobile. You're walking past the, Dorothy's shoes from Wizard of Oz. It's like, this is so cool. And we've got that little box right next to Julia's kitchen with our first knife kit, recipe book. It's very cool. It was surreal.
And, I think that says a lot too about the gravity of that, because at that point in your career, you've experienced so much and been given your flowers over and over again, and you kind of start to get a little numb to things.
Yeah.
So when it's something that gets you excited, it's great because we do kind of need that, not the attention or the accolade, but we need something to keep us excited sometimes. Hey, what I'm doing matters. And since I'm giving my whole life away to it, I'd like to know that from time to time.
Yeah, that was for sure. It's true. You get awards, and obviously you're always thankful about those. But to get that Julia Child Smithsonian thing, that was crazy, exciting, which I didn't expect. I really didn't. But it was a very interesting feeling walking in there and then having this big dinner. And we had, Mary Sue and I both thought, like, she had people visiting that came for it, and I had people. We both each felt like we were sort of like having marriage celebrations, not with each other, but just because it was such a festive weekend. And so, it was just big. It felt
Yeah.
big. So it was cool.
I love
But,
that.
how could you not? We loved Julia. So that was, she was someone that was so respectful and respected us. And we, of course, loved her. And she was fun and crazy and drank a lot. So all that stuff made us just, love her.
And you did some shows with her, right?
We did way back. We did, a few different shows with her, and I think we emceed her 80th birthday, and it's just
Wow.
a lot of a great relationship with her for a minute. She came into City, our first big restaurant, must have been like 1987 or 88, or came into City Café, actually. Came into City Café, so it must have been like 84 or 5, and the reason she came into the kitchen to go to the bathroom, because in our little like 10-foot by 10-foot kitchen was the only bathroom. And she came in, I was on the floor in front of the refrigerator, double door refrigerator, pulling all the, shit out of the refrigerator, trying to clean out on the floor in front of the bathroom. And I hear her voice.
Wow. That was the
And
first time you
that
met
was
her?
the first time we met her.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it was amazing. And that was 9 tables. Yeah, it was a tiny little restaurant.
Um, and just to kind of set the table as well, there's going back to the quadruple OG at this point. I give an O for the decades active. So we've only had triple OGs on the show so far, which is a high honor. I learned about you in culinary school at the CIA in Hyde Park, New York, right? And
My
so
alma mater.
it's only right that you're, I guess, cemented in history at the Smithsonian, right? If 25 years ago the CIA is teaching students this is what a professional chef is, and here's why,
Yeah.
Yet you're in your chef coat, showing up to work just like the rest of us.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I think it is just part of, it's a huge part of who I am. It really is. I mean, maybe it's because I love wearing a uniform. Could be that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been so many years of, 50 years of, being in chef jackets and, being around the team. And to me, that's sort of the most rewarding part of our business, is the relationships with the people who work for us.
Yeah.
And, and the customers that come in. That's, and the ability to have a voice to do, important work. That's been like a huge gift, I feel like, for us in this industry. For me in particular, to be able to have gotten enough recognition to have a voice to maybe be able to help make a little change in something.
Well, I mean, you've applied your voice to a lot of movements, some dealing with food, some dealing with social justice. You've been a very active and involved member of the LGBTQ plus community. I know that you play a big role in some organizations throughout Los Angeles.
Yeah.
One year you invited me to cook at one of your fundraisers, and I was like, not in LA. I was like, I'm gonna be in like Spain, and I was like, fuck, I really wanted to do this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I have, for sure. I think from the very beginning, giving back to the community has always been a really important part of what Mary Sue and I have done over the years. I think I sort of grew up in that, where my parents felt, the importance of giving back, not necessarily just financially, but to be able to give back. And I think when we opened, the idea of being able to, it's a community that supports you. So how do you give back? So for many years, we used to laugh about saying that we were more of a nonprofit than a for-profit. Well, which is probably true in many ways.
Yeah, let's just break even.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah. But I think, over the years, we've sort of narrowed it a bit down to different organizations that we both are more involved with, I don't know if that's totally true, but the bigger commitment. So, right, like I've been on the board of the Los Angeles LGBT Center for the last 16, 17 years. We did an event probably that you're talking about, Simply Divine, which was a big food and wine event here. I've been on the board of the Scleroderma Research Foundation. My best friend from college was diagnosed with scleroderma. She has since passed, but I've done this event called Cool Comedy Hot Cuisine for 40, probably close to 40 years now. We've, I think, raised over $48 million for research for this disease, which is a horrific disease.
What is this event? Cool Comedy.
It's called
Hot
Cool
Cuisine?
Comedy Hot Cuisine. We did our first one at City Restaurant back in whatever that was, the 80s. And my friend Sharon, who started the Scleroderma Research Foundation, this is a horrible disease. It affects mainly women, not only, but it overproduces collagen in the body, so it turns the body to rock. And it's very painful, very disfiguring. And she created a board of directors. I've been on that board. I'm the only one that's been on the board from day one. And we decided we would do an event. Mary Sue and I had just consulted for Caroline's Comedy Club in New York. We decided, let's do a fundraiser called Cool Comedy Hot Cuisine. And so every time any comedian would come into City Restaurant, we would be like, mainly Robin Williams, we would like send free food. And I reached out to his managers. They said, absolutely not. And then like, and Caroline, who was from New York, was involved in the comedy world. So our very first event was Richard Belzer, Judy Tenuta. 4 days before the event, Robin Williams' assistant at that time, Marcia Garces, who eventually became his wife, called and said, Robin would come. He's not going to perform. Was it Paul Provenza? It was an amazing lineup coming to City. And we did our first event at City, and Linda Gray was there. God, I can't even remember now. It was just, anyways, it was just a really cool event. And since we have had many different comedians, like 3 or 4 comedians at a time. So it would be, and we've had everybody. And one year, maybe 7 or 8 or 9 years into it, Bob Saget was one of the comedians.
Nice.
And a year later, his sister was diagnosed with scleroderma.
Wow.
So Bob came on the board. And of course, then getting comedians was simple. So everybody has done it. I mean, it's been, Jay Leno, Dana Carvey, Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, Rosie. It's been amazing.
Incredible.
You know.
And is it still active?
Yes, still.
When's the next event?
The next event is November 12th in New York. We now do LA, New York. We used to do LA, New York, San Francisco. We do LA, New York every year. Jeff Ross, John Mayers played probably 4 times at the event. John and Jeff Ross were good friends of Bob's. Sarah Silverman. This year, it's amazing.
Jeff Ross.
Yeah, Jeff is MC.
Filthy.
He is, and he's fabulous.
I love it.
And John is amazing. Last year, John.
So Jeff's emceeing.
And he has for the last, since Bob has passed.
Does he do shtick? Like, does he do roast shtick?
Depends what's going on. Yeah. He's fantastic.
Man, I wish I could go to that.
Oh, it's amazing. Nikki
Glazer?
Yeah, Nikki Glazer has performed a couple times. She's performing again
she's
this year.
incredible.
It's amazing comedy.
Did you see her performance at the roast of what's that football guy's name?
I didn't.
I'm not really too into sports to the level of like, maybe this is one of the most, at this point, decorated quarterbacks in NFL history.
What's his name from San Francisco?
Tom Brady played for the Patriots.
Yeah.
They did a roast of Tom Brady.
Yeah, and she did it.
Her roast stole the whole show. And Jeff Ross, he hosted it. He's the head roaster. Yeah. But she stole the show. It was so intelligent and fucking funny.
Yeah,
in her
she is
delivery.
amazing. So she's done the show a couple of times. She's doing it again this year in New York. Um, she, I saw her just recently at a fundraiser for animals, and she was fucking amazing.
Mm.
She's great. So we've done all the food. So Mary Sue and I, we used to do forever. This is forever. Volunteers from our kitchen, from around, got the food all donated for the last 35 years. And only since Bob has passed have I sort of done where we plan the menu with the chef, and I go there with one of our chefs the day before. We help prep and then do it. But before that, we did all the food with volunteer
Heard.
staff. It was
Well,
amazing.
I'll throw this out there because I believe in volunteerism and stage culture, if you're into it. And anytime you need hands anywhere, if you can get me there, I'll work.
Oh, fantastic. It's great.
Experience,
Yeah.
the what I would learn, how I would grow. I like to go into things without any expectations other than that. This attitude, and I've learned it from you and Mary Sue and many other great chefs, that this attitude of being outgoing takes you places that you couldn't even dream of,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're on boards. Like, I was taught that, like, at a certain point, a chef, if they're leveling up and taking their career seriously, like, you need to get involved with things that matter. And, that motivated me to be like, man, like, what does it even mean to be on a board? How do I get on a board? Like, but like, not from a status perspective, from a like, you know, how did you get there? And I mean, my dipping my toes in that was when I joined Chefs Collaborative.
Yeah.
As a young chef, a very young chef in my 20s, and everybody was like a mentor.
Yeah.
Were you involved in that?
Yeah.
Were you like maybe one of the founders of
Right
Chefs
in the
Collaborative?
beginning, I think I don't know if I was one of the founders, but I was right. We were there right in the very beginning. Yeah.
Who? I feel like the collaborative never really knew how to own its story in terms of like who the founders were, to the point where like maybe the founders didn't know they were the founders.
Yeah, I mean, God, I don't even remember. I'm so old, I can't remember anything. But,
Get out of here.
it's been interesting. It's been an interesting road for me because I'm, um, I tend to be more drawn, at least in the last 20 years of my life, more drawn to non-food related, organizations. It's interesting. So, like certainly like the Los Angeles LGBT Center, I joined that, like I said, 16, 17 years ago. And of course, part of what you're saying, it's exactly true. You meet interesting people, you grow, you feel like you give back. Like the center to me is so rewarding because of the work that gets done. The work is so, certainly it's part of my community, but also I think the importance of the work that gets done. This is the largest LGBT center in the world. We have 10 campuses here in
Wow.
LA. We have over 900 employees. There's legal education, so there's high school degree, helping kids get into college. There's housing, 100 low-income housing right at one of our campuses for seniors, apartments, 100 beds for youth, all social working. We now have a culinary kitchen there where we have a 12-week culinary program that's intergenerational, which of course I helped push that forward quite a bit when we were opening that campus. So I don't remember with Chefs Collaborative back
I
then.
get it. I get it.
I mean,
And it makes sense too. I mean, like you can use food as as like the great gatherer for any cause. And
yeah,
also, like, food is politics, and restaurants can, make a statement to a community if they're a fixture in the community, like yours have been, right? To say like all are welcome. You put the sign up, and then the other thing, especially for me um, with civil rights and the LGBTQ plus community, is that like most of my friends fall into that community because most of my friends are from the restaurant business.
Yeah.
And the restaurant business, myself included, we're just a bunch of like, ragtag misfits that didn't really kind of like, fit in anywhere else. And when you get hired onto a restaurant and you go through training, if you make it through, you're like instantly accepted.
Yeah,
You
well,
become a part of the family, no
well,
matter who you are.
yeah, I mean, this is part of why when we were doing our capital campaign for the newest campus, which is at Santa Monica and McCadden, which that campus has 100 low-income housing for seniors, apartments, which is amazing. 100 different level beds for youth that are on the street. And then we have day programs for youth and seniors. And the culinary kitchen, the reason I felt that we had to invest in a professional kitchen, and like LA Kitchen was, but basically this was that we're feeding so many people. We feed, I think, over 100,000 meals a year.
Wow.
And what I felt like is that you're now helping someone get a discipline that they might go out and get a job.
Mm-hmm.
They could. We have a huge job placement department, but also you have to follow certain rules and disciplines. You have to come in, sober. You have to follow, you learn a structure. You get to wear a chef jacket with your name on it. Whatever you want your given name to be.
Mm-hmm.
You're intergenerational. So you have seniors and youth working together. So youth are providing seniors something and seniors providing youth. And there's a family that gets created in restaurants, which is amazing. And that's why I think so many people that are all over the place love restaurants, because it creates an amazing community.
Yeah. And everybody wants to feel welcome.
Yeah.
Curious, you had mentioned LA Kitchen. Sure, Robert Egger.
Yeah.
Did y'all talk at all when you were working on this? And did you pick his brain?
Well, they were closed at that point, but before they closed, we had done some work down there. My partner at Street, Sasha Alger, had done a ton of volunteer work down there with them. Nick Panipento, who is now running our program for the last 9 years since we started at the LGBT Center, the Anita Mae Rosenstein campus, he was running that kitchen, or not running, but high up in the kitchen at LA Kitchen. But they had closed by the time we opened. So that was 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
So they had closed. But Nick, of course, is an amazing administrator and chef and someone who has helped run this 12-week training program, which is incredible. And we do all the catering at the center that happens now. So it's amazing. And they do such a great job. I'll give them recipes, and it's like, oh, my God, you guys should come run our kitchen.
That's great.
They're so good.
There was a program that we participated in around 2018 at Prue and Proper in downtown. And I can't remember the organization. I feel like it was funded through the city of LA, but I almost wonder if your center had something to do with it. We basically were giving jobs to members of this community, younger members of this community who were without housing, and they were given a place to stay, and they were provided with a job, because a lot of these kids, they get kicked out of their house. They're unsupported by their family and their community, and some of them aren't even from here. They make it out to LA so they can find themselves and become who they they truly are inside. And they, whether it's transitioning and there were some really amazing kids that worked for us through that program.
Yeah, it's really, I don't know the exact statistic, I should, but since I co-chair on the center board, but it's something like a kid on the street within like 3 to 5 days is either, tricking to be able to get money for food or on drugs. So it's very quick. That's why I think it's so important, the center's role in helping to basically patrol street, like be out there to try to get kids off the street, get them into some sort of, facility so that they at least, if they're under 18, they can't be at the center, but in terms of sleeping, but they can be there for day programs. And everyone that comes in through a day program sees a social worker, so we know the status of where they're at. So I mean, I'm so I love the work that the center does, not especially now with immigration and everything that's happening with ICE, the work that our legal department does. And we have a full medical, 4 floors of medical, pharmacy,
Wow.
full, like 14 full-time doctors and therapists. And it's amazing. It really is amazing. So I love
This sounds truly remarkable.
it
This is
is.
probably the most leveled up community NGO that I've heard of.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. But like that, I mean, part of it, same with the Scleroderma Research Foundation. Or any organization, I'm on the board of LA Tourism. Because you learn so much and you are able to, maybe give back a tiny bit, which is just such a great reward. I think in our industry that you can do an event and raise money more than if you write a check. Well, I mean, certainly some people can write a check for more than that, but I think to be able to have our profession and be able to give back. I mean, many people, especially like now with the nightmares that's happening right now in our government, not to get political, but
Oh, we can get
okay.
political.
Well, so the nightmare that's happening, right now, to be able to do a fundraiser where you might be able, I mean, we did a dinner the other night. It's small, but for an organization called Register Her, 40 people at the dinner, but I think we raised $50,000. Well,
Wow.
that's a huge amount of money for a small little organization.
Yeah.
This organization is working on across the country to get women out to vote so that we can change this administration.
Yeah. I just think that in terms of where we're at in this country and all the bullshit, like, the way it feels like the government and this administration and Trump and all these fuckboys out there, really, they just want to keep pulling government funding on everything that's good about what freedom means in the United States of America. And they also want to like take rights away. And it's not what this country was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And they're putting it all on the private NGO sector. They're making it so that we have to raise money to support what's good and right. And you've been doing that throughout your whole career. It's like, this is nothing new to you. Kudos.
Yeah.
Cheers for showing us the way.
Well, it's very selfish because it is, I think, without a doubt, probably the most rewarding part of what I think this career has, given me. It's just an amazing, every year when I do cool comedy, and all the work that's involved, or certainly has been over the years, and still, it's a lot of work. You sit there and you think like, God, last year, I think LA event, we raised, over $1 million. It's like, it's all going to research. And a big part of it is going to research,
Right.
We're a small little organization, but to have $1 million to fund cutting edge research is important.
That's phenomenal.
Great.
I've always wanted to do a tight 5-bit on stage in bomb. So, if you ever need a shitty, not real comedian too, I actually did. I was in a bar in like Cincinnati, and it was like
Why
definitely
Cincinnati?
we were in town. A bunch of chefs were in town doing a event at the aquarium. I believe it might have been, like Ohio River Valley. Um, and then we went out. I went out with the kids. I went out with the line cooks
Yeah.
at the restaurant after service one night. This was when I used to drink. I don't drink anymore. I don't really do anything. But this is when I used to drink, and it was a blast. And we went out, and we kind of went to like the other side of the tracks, so to speak. And they were like, "This place is really cool. But are you guys going to be comfortable?" And we're like, "What do you mean?" And they're like it's kind of like mostly black people that go to this. And we're like, "Yeah, what? the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
you know? So we went, and it turned out that there was like 400 people there, and
Wow.
there was going to be a hip hop concert. And I was fucking hammered. And I went up to one of the people setting up, and I said, "Hey," and I was with one of my sous chefs at the time, and I said, "Hey, we're from LA. We're comedians. If you guys need any crowd work, you want us to warm up the crowd, we'll happily do it." They thought that was incredible. And we got up there. I don't even know what we said. I
Oh,
don't remember it, but I do know that we shticked it and we pulled it off.
oh
We had this
my,
massive crowd of people believing we were comics, laughing at our shit. And then we like, and then we
that's just,
presented so ever since then I've been like, I think I could do it.
that is funny. That is funny.
Oh man, that was wild, wild times.
Yeah.
I'm curious at this point, what's like the perfect day for you? Like showing up to work, like showing up to one of the restaurants. Like what's the most selfish, perfect day? Like no bullshit gets dumped on your plate. Like this is like you would be achieving nirvana.
No meetings, for sure.
Heard.
The restaurant being really busy. Um, maybe tasting specials and feeling like, they don't necessarily have to be great. They could be that wanted to tweak them. And just being able to help bus tables, talk to customers,
Mm.
help run food out and feel like we did a great job. I think that would be like the perfect way. I would like to end my career with that kind of,
Yeah.
going out.
Just actively participating
Yeah, but not
in the
having to worry
dance.
about, who to hire, who to fire,
Yeah.
not having financial meetings,
Yeah.
just having busy restaurants.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I mean, that's why we fell in love with it, right?
Yeah.
Was like line cooking, being like the dance of like doing what the
Yeah.
tickets
I
say.
mean, and that, certainly at some point that I loved. I loved being on the line, and on the hotline. And I loved expediting and
Mhm.
that. I mean, now I think, I don't think I'm strong enough to expedite really if it's really busy for sure.
Mm-mm.
But
I get
I still
I
love
got to a
that for
point
sure.
where like expoing would give me anxiety because I would feel like stuck, and I would think about everything else that I needed to do
Yeah.
as a business owner. And I couldn't, for some reason, I don't know, I couldn't shake it. And I was like, it's easier for me to get out of that mental cycle if I'm just working a station.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, I was like, let me put my CDC or my sous chef in the window and just work a fucking station. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care if
I
I work
always,
like garmache. Like,
yeah. I mean, I always thought, that expediting would be an amazing exercise for your brain, like as you got older, because it's especially if you're doing small plates. I know when we
right.
had street, that was incredible amount of coordinating. And I always thought, that's like doing, word search, word puzzles,
Yeah.
because it keeps your mind so,
Right. That's the key
it's really,
to cognitive strength,
yeah,
right? Is that I've read some studies recently about dementia at large. And it's like if you stop exercising your brain, uh, the cognitive center, that's when you start to, have like develop dementia. And it's not necessarily like that, oh, Alzheimer's runs in my family as much as it is like you've got to keep that brain
yeah,
active.
that's interesting.
And we're just like fucking not really built to be this old, but we're pulling it off with medicine. So
Yeah.
we have to,
Well, Liz's mom, 102, and she, her mind was definitely sort of, going backwards, but she would do word search books for like 2 hours at a time. So
brilliant.
it's interesting that I think probably that kept her mind sort of focused, so she
Yeah.
could. So it was interesting to see why that kept her. Rather than watch TV, she would have rather done word search.
Right. And Liz is your wife, right?
Yes, 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
Weren't you married to a dude before that? Like a
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah. Josh,
Josh.
who I introduced. So Josh and I were together. We were high school sweethearts. Josh
Shit.
Schweitzer. We were high school sweethearts. um, we ended up living together, and then I didn't know what to do one year for Father's Day, so Josh and I got married at the Justice of the Peace. And then I ended up with, we were together maybe 7, 8 years. Then I ended up with a woman. So Josh and I split up, but many years, not even that many, maybe 6, 7 years later, when Mary Sue and I met working at Le Perroquet, I said to her, "You're dating such losers. You should meet my ex." And they've been together 30 plus years
I
now,
love that.
maybe 40 years. So I'm the godmother to her kids.
Wow. I love
And
that.
Josh was the architect of City, Border Grill Las Vegas. Josh was the architect.
Love it. Class act. I have been with my wife Cassidy now longer than I was with my ex-wife, and my ex-wife and I were together for 6 years and maybe a little over 6 years, but we've been friends the whole time. My wife Cassidy's friends with her. She's a body worker, my ex-wife Astrid, and she was even just recently training Cassidy.
Oh,
And I just
wow,
think that
that's
it's
great.
like, I know people go through stuff and it's not, I'm just grateful because it's like, I loved that person for a lot of reasons. We realized that we weren't like gonna work
Right.
as a marriage, but to be able to still like think of her as family and have her in my life and have her in my wife's life,
Yeah.
I think is fucking awesome. I think that's like how you're supposed to do it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. I mean, certainly Josh and Liz, are friends, and we've spent many, many holidays over the years with them. And Josh and I have known each other since 5th grade. So we've stayed very close. And I mean, there were some years there he didn't like me that much after.
Yeah, that'll
after
happen.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
Yeah. But then,
You gotta let it simmer down.
yeah.
And I get it. Sometimes people feel like they were done wrong. Not in this particular case, but with people that get divorced, they can get ugly
Yeah.
and the claws come out. And then at a certain point, you do too much to somebody and they're, but again, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's true. I think ours was just, we didn't have a negative experience at the end. It was just time to, split. So, but this is all the artwork in here is one of Mary Sue's youngest son who did these.
oh, cool. What a
And
cool kid he is.
yeah. And her older son's amazing. Declan.
Yeah. There's some studs.
Yeah.
Those boys. And then speaking of the art here as well, I noticed that there's like photographic art of dogs peppered all over the place.
Well, when we opened Soclo here, we decided, we should. Mary Sue had an old Chihuahua, which is the big, huge picture in the bar. And so we decided to do a casting call for Chihuahuas. So we did a casting call and then had a friend of ours, Anne Fishbein. She took all the pictures of the different Chihuahuas. We were on a green screen.
Anne shoots for, sorry to interrupt, but Anne shoots for like local, like she shoots for the Times,
Yeah,
right? She's
yeah.
shot some of my food before.
Yeah, she's a
wonderful.
good friend. She's a great friend.
Funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
So she shot this, and we were there at green screen. I was on the ground with food, trying to give the dogs that while they sat there waiting, and so it was hysterical. So that was.
But there's more than Chihuahuas now.
Huh? No, it's all Chihuahuas.
Wait, is it?
It's all Chihuahuas in the hallway there. It's all Chihuahuas.
In the restaurant though, didn't
Yeah.
they see like a?
No, that's that big one in the bar. That's a Chihuahua.
Sheesh. All right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine in culinary school, her parents, they lived up in Saratoga Springs. Did you ever go up there when you were at the CIA?
I didn't.
You familiar with it?
Not real. I mean,
Well, they got the Saratoga water.
yeah.
Anyway, her parents were pretty well off and they had built a mansion that we would go to. I mean, this place had like a bowling alley. Like that's kind of how well off they were, right? Like the guest house that we would stay in was like the size of my parents' house.
Yeah.
But her mom had 30 Chihuahuas. And
Oh
it was
my
incredible.
God. In
And
the house?
They had their own massive room that was like this big round room and these little doors that they could go into it.
30.
And it was so fucking cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it a Chihuahua rescue or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I was a
weird.
kid, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
in college, so
Yeah.
I don't think that I was thinking about asking those
Yeah.
questions like that. You know what I mean? But I would say if you got 30 animals, you're rescuing them in some capacity.
Yeah, when I was at the CIA, I lived across in Highland on a like a farmhouse that was split in two, an apartment on an apple farm.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it was so cool. And the owners were the Magliatos, this Italian family that we fell in love with each other. So anytime I had a day off, Nick, the husband, would make these amazing Italian meals. So I stayed very close to them. Matter of fact, I went back there to the culinary maybe a year ago or something to shoot this Netflix thing they were doing at the CIA.
Isn't that
And
coming out soon?
yeah, I think someone just texted me last night saying it was on last night.
Okay.
Started. So
It's
I
a
will-
competition, right?
I was judging, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think,
Of
yeah,
course.
it's a competition.
Yeah. Like
yeah.
the kids at the school or
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
Neat.
so, yeah.
Neat.
So, but I reached out to my old landlords who I haven't seen in 45 years. He had passed away, but I saw the woman who sounded exactly the same, very sarcastic, funny Italian, swearing.
Love it.
Just had a really fantastic time.
That's fabulous.
I'm headed back there again. Are you headed back there for Alumni Week, maybe?
No,
No.
when is it?
Like in beginning of October or something. They're doing something. So I'm headed back there, and we're showing Liz's film that she did called Susan Feniger Forked for the Alumni Weekend.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, and then hopefully I'll get a chance to see it after it premieres. I can
Yeah,
stream
you should. It's going to
Can it be
be
streamed?
It's going to be distributed starting, I think, in the fall here in this country. It's on Amazon Prime in
Okay.
the UK, and it's on American Airlines, but it's going to be. I'll make Liz will send you the link. After you talk to Liz, she'll send you the link to see.
That's amazing.
It's great.
I
It's
can't
great
wait. I
done.
can't wait.
Yeah.
I've been actively pursuing a deeper relationship with the CIA for the last few years, and I love the school so much, and it had such a meaningful impact in helping me grow up, understand the culture, understand what standards are, and it was the jump start. It planted the seed of what would become a network, right? I'm actually, I don't know if I should bring this up because I don't want to jinx myself. I'll knock on wood. I'm interviewing to be an adjunct professor in the master's program on sustainable food systems. It's always been
Great.
like something, it's always been like a in the back of my mind, like goal, dream, like, wow, to teach at the CIA one day would be
That's
incredible.
great.
And then after working with the EDF for the past 5 years and, going to DC a few times a year and just working on coalition building and food systems policies, I've just learned so much just being at that table. And I was talking to a dean there, about, hey, maybe I should, like take the master's program. And he said, Sammy, you should teach. And I was like, what? Wait, really? Already? This early on in my career, So we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes,
How fantastic.
Yeah, it would just be like one class, and
Yeah. How
it's
great.
all remote because that's how their master's program is set up. So
Oh, it is. It's all remote from
Yeah.
from Hyde Park, not
Yeah,
from up north.
it's online. So I would literally just be able to do it all from my home office in Charleston.
How great.
Yeah.
How great.
And they pay like $35 for the semester. It's good money.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good. You make
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's dog shit money.
Yeah. $35.
$35.
Well, you could.
Yeah. No, I think it's it's
Go get
whatever they
coffee.
pay is like competitive, and it's clearly not a money thing, right? It's about an experience and where does this take you?
Yeah.
What does this open up?
Yeah, that's great. That would be great. I think that'd be really fun.
You know?
Interesting.
Um
Who are you talking to? What dean? Do you know?
oh yeah, Brendan Walsh.
Oh, I love Brendan.
Yeah.
Brendan's my favorite person there.
Really?
Love Brendan.
He's a fucking legend.
Yeah, he's great. I I was back there for some reason. I haven't been involved with the CIA for years, but in the last few years, I've been back there 3 times for something, which I haven't been back there at ever. But when I realized that Brendan was there, we had dinner and hung out both times. And I love Brendan. He's fabulous. And there's a new president there now, too.
Yeah, there is. And he's very excited about him. And it seems like everybody is. And obviously, like, you know, I don't know if I should believe it or not, because in this political climate right now, you have to act like you're excited about the president unless you want to lose your fucking job.
Right.
Doom. Fuck Donald Trump. This show is going to get pulled.
Yeah, exactly.
No, see, because I'm a peon. I'm no Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy. That's, I mean, my wife Cassidy's been talking about moving to another country, and honestly, for the first time, I haven't even told her this, but for the first time since that conversation started, when Trump won the election, I considered the possibilities of it as soon as I saw that headline yesterday. Like, oh wait, so now another late night host is being fired for, you know, what was supposed to be freedom of speech.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's very scary. It is very scary.
Yeah, it's not.
This is. I don't even know how to. I can't explain. I mean, I'm Jewish. You know, old enough to know. Have gone to temple. Not extreme. I mean, Reform Jews, but going to temples, seeing concentration camps, and seeing what happened during that time, and obviously in all the past, all the things, and reading books about Hitler and what's happened. This is scary times. It blows me away, Congress, and what is happening there, and no one's standing up. I don't get it. I do not get it.
Well, when people, the people that do stand up, they'll get a round of applause, but unfortunately, because everything, because the House majority, right, in Congress, in the Senate and the House is Republican, like, it's kind of like, it'll make us feel good when we see that happen on the news, but it's not having a greater impact.
No, I know, but I can't even imagine the Republicans that have been elected in office. It's like, how could none of them stand up?
I know.
I mean, that just blows me away. It's like, how do you
because people don't want to, I don't know.
It's their job.
People don't want to get fired, but that's, I mean, as an elected official, you have a responsibility to your constituency. And, it's like, I fucking hope, I'm not holding my breath, but I fucking hope that, like, right now, as we're talking, there are, Republican members, representatives of Congress behind closed doors actually having the conversation amongst each other. What the fuck are we going to do? We need to take this over. We can't, because that's what's going to have to happen. It's going to have to be within the Republican Party, quote unquote, plans a coup.
I hope. I know. I mean, that's why I think, even sort of supporting that group I was telling you, Register Her, because I feel like I'm constantly complaining, but I feel like, okay, what can we do to help maybe turn Congress around in the next, year and a half? What can we do? What can be done? Because that at least will be a step if we could turn that around. A step.
Yeah.
Although,
Everything
I don't see
Every
him
little
getting,
grant
I don't
adds up.
see him leaving office.
After this term?
I don't see that.
I think they're going to do the old whatever they wanted to do, where it was like, oh, well, you can have 2 consecutive terms if it was a break.
Or cause there to be so much, stress and riots and wartime in the country that he can't. It was something.
Yeah. If that happens and there aren't riots. I mean, it's like, it's not, I take this very seriously, but I also think that, like, there's enough people in this country that will do something. I mean, look at what happened in Seattle during the pandemic.
Yeah.
They took a fucking piece of the city over. You know, people will stand up and say enough is enough. And unfortunately, too, there's enough guns in this country for people to form militias. And,
Yeah.
you know, militias
Civil
aren't,
war.
yeah, like militias aren't always going to be far right. I mean, they kind of seem like they are, but
Yeah. I don't want to get to that place.
yeah.
I mean, that's a scary thing about leaving the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thing about leaving the country is that leaving, I mean, I agree. The idea of moving away, you know, Liz has got her, you know, Canadian citizenship. So leaving is an option. But I sort of feel like, you know, that's screwed. Like, I don't want to have to leave my country.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I feel bad about that idea because it's like,
Yeah.
we need to fight for it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I think about this a lot, like in the, I think it was Plato's, you know, The Republic, the collection of Plato's books on that dealt with Socrates, and man, I don't know if it's the Credo or, but essentially the book where Socrates he decides to take poison and die, and I mean, the philosophy holds up to this day. He said, like, if you're not happy with the, and I'm paraphrasing, I haven't read this
yeah,
in years, but if you're not happy with the state of your republic, you have three options, right? You can do something active to change it, you can accept it, or you can leave.
yeah,
And he was trying to change it by sparking new thought in youthful minds.
mhm,
And they said, you got a choice here. You can either leave or die. And he said, well, I ain't leaving, right? So I'll die, you know. And this is kind of the concept of at large of like martyrdom.
yeah,
We see this story and these characters over and over again throughout history. But I think about that when I think about the idea of leaving, where it's like, I think that I don't want to accept it, and I'm not ready to leave, and we can do something about this.
yeah. I mean, I get the idea of leaving to escape this because it's such a nightmare. But, you know, I mean, it does make you reflect back on what happened in Germany. And you think, like,
Mhm.
how did that happen? And I think it feels so similar. Is that, you know, people are like we are. It's like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? So I could imagine in Germany, many people think, like, what do we do? And too scared to go against the party, against Hitler. This is exactly what we're living
Yeah.
with, right? Too
I mean,
scared to go
ICE
against Trump.
ICE is Trump's SS.
Yeah.
Um,
You see it. It's the brown shirts that, you know, you see it. It's the same
yeah.
thing. So,
And when we compare the current state of the US to 1933, Hitler's Germany, Trump has pretty much already done everything that Hitler did and then some. In fact, from what I understand, Hitler wasn't able to take control of the military until 34, and Trump's already done that. He's got them at his beck and call and deploys different branches of the military wherever he wants, right? I mean, he sent them to LA for a variety of reasons, and you know, like Newsom's been like, what are you doing? Don't, you know, get out of here or whatever. What do you think about Newsom? He's been kind of acting out in a fun way.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing for sure. I mean, I feel like he's standing up to the government. He's, you know, being active and, uh, yeah.
Have you done any work with him over the years?
Not really. I mean, at some point, years ago, he came down and spoke at the center with a
Okay.
small group of people. I don't know. You know, the jury's out there for me.
Heard.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least there's another white guy out there with a big platform, you know, speaking against Trump.
Yes,
that,
for sure.
That like hopefully can't get fired by Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, I love your style. I've always loved the bracelets and the earrings. Like, is there a story behind those bracelets, though?
I guess, you know, and not these specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but I took my first trip to India in the early 80s, and a friend of mine had moved over there from Colorado. He was um, a, a dancer and actor. He moved over there to an ashram for Mayor Baba, and he never left. So he has lived over there for now, what, like 50 years. And so I went to visit him there, and I've been back there 5 or 6 times, and he ended up running the kitchen in this ashram.
Hmm.
And it was a very simple kitchen. You know, it had like two boys and a guy in the kitchen part. And the kitchen was, you know, basically concrete with with 2 holes cut out and fire underneath, and that was the cooking. And then the porch area was where all the women worked, and they because they weren't allowed in the sort of, and we're talking about main kitchen as being very rough. We're not talking about, you know, the boys slept, all 3 of them slept on the floor in the storeroom, the sort of semi storeroom, and on the porch, screened in porch is where all the women did all the grinding of the spices and, you know, all the prep work. And then the guys sort of finished everything. And so I was, of course, in both kitchens, but this is back in the 80s. I was blown away by all their earrings, and I already had like 3 pierced, but then I was blown away by their earrings and their amazing colors and all their bracelets and in the little town where I was, which was Ahmednagar, you know, you went in and there was all the little places shops that had millions of bangles, all different sizes. And at that point, I went in and I took my chef's jacket, and then eventually on one of my next trips took Mary Sue's chef jackets, bought all this this material, cotton, and brought it back to the ashram. We washed it all and hung it up on these big, huge rafters to dry, and then took it into the tailor and had him make chef jackets and chef pants for Mary Sue and I. And I'd bring back stacks of, they were like $3 a jacket and like $2 a pair of pants. For years, did that.
Do you have them?
For years. No, now they're sort of gone.
Oh my!
I mean, 50 years. But I had them for many,
I
many,
mean,
many,
how long
many
have you
years.
had that coat for?
At
That's
least
broken in.
30.
Nice.
All my jackets. I still have, you know, this one has street on it.
Oh,
And, you know, I have jackets that have
that's so
Ciudad
fucking
and
tough.
Border Grill.
It's so tough.
And of course, I have them all cut short. I always have, because I could not stand how long the jackets were.
crop top.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a fashion trend maker.
Oh, yeah.
I've always loved your coats and Mary Sue's coats in all of your videos. They're all like, you can just, I don't know. I think that there's got to be a lot of people that see them and they're like, that's a fucking great coat. Like, it's whether it's the color or, you know,
It's-
the logo though that's on it, and you know that there's stories behind it.
Yeah. It's funny because when we first went on Food Network, everybody was wearing white.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm sure Liz, who's from the entertainment industry, and someone else said, you know, you can't wear white on TV. That's terrible. So I think Josh dyed our jackets. One was like blueberry and one was sort of cayenne color. And we went on to Food Network with colored jackets, and it was really sort of the beginning of colored jackets. And then Chef's Wear started to do a line of our colored jackets of like like our blueberry, our cayenne, and that.
Damn.
And now, I mean, I have one white jacket now. Now I'm sort of like, well, maybe I want to have a white jacket or two.
I've for years have not wanted to do the white jacket, and then like put one on and was like, this is classic. I'll have one, but I like a good, my favorite color right now, I got a teal one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also have and I don't have mine now, but my niece has a line called Rialto Jean Projects, and it's all painted Levi's and vintage clothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it started off as. And at some point, Oprah, someone who was doing Oprah's makeup had on some of my niece's pants, jeans that were painted and sort of cool and vintage. She wanted them, but she wanted them fitted. So they got a line of white ones that were fitted and that ran. She wore it on the cover of O magazine. And
Oh, wow.
for about 3 years, my niece carried that line and then it stopped. So she had like 20 pairs of white jeans left. So she painted them all. I said, well, paint them so they match colors on my jackets. So I have like 15 pairs of these white jeans that are all painted, all colors. You know, people always like, "What? Are you a painter? Is that match?" Like, and now I'm sort of onto another thing,
dope.
but yeah.
Yeah, keep them though. Please
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
ever get rid of those. You'll put them back on when you're 102.
Yeah.
So that's wild because you're basically like the Spike Lee of chef coats.
Ha.
And I say that because the reason why I'm wearing a yellow Yankees hat right now and not a team color Yankee hat is because of Spike Lee. When the Yankees and the Braves were playing each other in the World Series in 1996, which I went to with my old man. He got us tickets. We from North Carolina as Yankee fans. We went to a game in Atlanta, and during that series, Spike Lee said, "Hey, to New Era, hey, I want a red hat so that I can wear Atlanta colors at the Atlanta games." And they made the red hat, and people saw it, and they went fucking nuts. And then eventually they released it. And then shortly after that, it was like they came out with a baby blue hat and then a yellow hat. And they were only Yankee hats. And I remember this. I didn't know it was because of Spike Lee
Yeah.
at the time. But I remember when this was happening because I was in high school and like I had a job working in my parents' restaurant. Like I cooked in the kitchen, and I'd save a good amount of my money. I saved up and bought a car flat out, but I'd save half, and then the other half I'd go shopping with, and I'd buy gear. I've always loved clothes.
Yeah.
And I would buy every fucking color Yankee hat there was.
Great.
And you're the Spike Lee of chef coats. This is crazy.
Funny.
Have
yeah.
you told that story before? Like,
I don't know
on
if I
tape?
have. Yeah, I
On
don't
wax?
know. I don't know. Because that was definitely the beginning. And I have to tell you, this is sort of not on that. Of course, then I always wore Converse forever, all different color Converse to match my chef jacket. That was sort of, your fashion statement there. But when Mary Sue and I did Iron Chef against Bobby, this is years ago, whenever that was, we took an iron on the back of my jacket and burnt the iron figure into it. You couldn't see it on Food Network, and they didn't go on it, which they should have. But it was, when you walk out and you do that stupid thing that says, this, it was like
your hero pose.
the ironing chef.
That's great. Y'all have so much fun together.
Yeah, we do. We have a great partnership.
Yeah.
45 years.
I love that. And I know how important it is to be collaborative and have a great partner. I have that in my wife. And, but you are your own person. And I actually might do an episode with Mary Sue here tomorrow at noon.
Oh,
so
great.
Funny enough. But it's like you're your own person. And I want to really hear your story and like what's going on in your life from your perspective. And it's amazing to hear Mary Sue be brought up so much because you've done so much together. Shifting gears, another curiosity of mine. You seem like somebody who likes to listen to music when you cook.
I love music.
What's one of your favorite albums to just play cover to cover while you're in the kitchen, whether it's home or prep?
Well, okay. So I've always been into music. Even when I was in high school, I was listening to Dave Grusin. I mean, I love music. And I feel like music is something that speaks to me, always have. And I love, even when I was younger, classical music, really. And then Liz, although she's a filmmaker now, was a singer-songwriter forever, has an Emmy. When I fell in love with her 30 years ago, she was writing music and playing with her partner. And, she played music from the time she grew up in Detroit, played music, sang jazz, did bar mitzvahs when she was like 16 years old. And so it's interesting we ended up together, but we're both big jazz fans. We go up to Herb Alpert's place all the time to hear jazz, and just I am definitely a jazz person. And certainly being with Liz, I've learned more and more about different jazz musicians. But I don't know, when I'm in the kitchen at home, I mean, when Mary Sue and I used to be in the kitchen at City Café, we used to listen to Sting and Lauren Wood. And then eventually, at some point, which was hysterical, many years, I don't know when it was, and we were in Texas, I think. We were doing an event with all those guys all the chefs from Texas, Dean Varing and do you know those guys?
I don't know them personally,
Yeah.
but I know of them.
Anyway, so it was all the Texas chefs, and we were doing an event at a big hotel, and big fundraiser food thing like we do. And Sting was playing at some stadium there, and he was staying at the hotel where we were. Well, I am like that. I'm like persistent and going after. So I went after the people that were the food and beverage people at the hotel. Were saying, it's like, we want to do let us do the food. We do Indian food, for Sting. So we ended up getting the gig afterwards to do the food for Sting and his band.
Awesome.
And the women who have done the murals in all of our restaurants, not these, but in all of our other restaurants, are two friends of ours from London. Very well-known artists. They're old friends. They used to be friends with the people who own LAI Works, who are our original partners. And they did the album cover for Sting, for Bring on the Night, I think, and for Joan Armatrading. And so they did a lot of musicians' artwork. So we ended up doing...
Is that how you met them? Or was this
No, we met them through
coincidence?
LAI Works.
Okay.
Through the people that owned LAI Works. So they did our first murals at the first Border Grill back in the, I think 1985 or whatever that was. Mary Sue's better with dates.
I think from my notes, it's 85.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So, because we did 1990 was Border Grill Santa Monica. So music. So yeah. So anyways, we ended up doing the food for Sting. Mary Sue, who was a huge fan of his, like completely got silent, couldn't speak when he walked by. It was like, oh my God.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah, she was too nervous too. But anyway, so back then, we were like listening to that kind of stuff to give us high energy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But when I'm at home, if I'm cooking at nighttime, and since COVID, I've cooked a lot more at home than ever.
Me too.
Because I've always been in the restaurants at day and night, always, for all these years, 40 years. But Chet Baker, Bill Evans, all, very straight jazz people. Melody Gardot, Eva Cassidy, and then, sometimes, Pink Martini, those kinds of things. But probably more jazz-like things.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, all right. I had a question that I forgot to ask that popped into my head when we brought up Brendan Walsh. From what I understand, he was like on the cover of like Food and Wine magazine, maybe.
Arizona 206, I think, was his restaurant, one of his restaurants in New York, way back in the...
Do you remember this? Like, was he on the...
He could have been. He was a very hot chef.
Because I want to like get that. I've tried to find that, like a copy of that, like on eBay.
I don't know, but he was I don't know that, but I could imagine it.
Yeah.
Mostly because he was
I've heard he was like
well-known chef.
on the cover on his Harley.
Oh, could have been.
80s.
Could have been.
Which just sounds so fucking tough. Yeah.
You have to get that picture of Mary Sue and I on our motorcycles, on our mopeds, and then motorcycle.
That'll be my new the new thing
hobby.
I collect. Yeah. I love collecting things.
We both rode mopeds forever. Little Honda mopeds.
Yeah.
And then I
love
got
it
a
when you share
motorcycle.
the pictures. Oh, you break out the photos from the archives and you'll put them on Instagram.
Yeah.
So you have a motorcycle right now?
No.
No. When did you
Stop.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, at one point, I fell. My bike skid on La Brea, and I think I got a little freaked out by it. So I mean, Honda had mopeds forever.
Did you have a Ruckus?
And a what?
The Honda Ruckus?
What was that?
Oh, it's a moped, but that I've always wanted.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a Honda moped.
But then I got a Honda 250.
Okay.
So then I moved up to a motorcycle.
Yeah, like you had to have a license plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That was very fun. And then for my 50th birthday, a friend of mine had the Harley, the small Harley, whatever that was called, the smallest Harley. And she brought it out to the desert, to Joshua Tree. And I rode my first Harley out there. That was it.
That's awesome.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I've never rode motorcycles. I've been on them a few times.
Yeah.
Terrifying, really, sitting on the back of a motorcycle, going 100 miles an hour, holding on to the driver for dear life. If I fuck up somehow and just blink out for a second and like don't hold on tight enough and I fall, I'm toast.
Yeah.
But it's exhilarating.
It is. I love bikes. I mean, now I have to say, I think it'd be quite scary given people on mobile phones, myself included.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. You know how easy it is to swerve like that.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, pretty dangerous. But I mean, I do love them. I love, there's such a great thing about them.
Yeah.
It's exhilarating. It is. I have to tell you I always think it's interesting. Liz and I we've been together 30 years. We got married like 10 years ago. I don't know how many years, something like that. When her mother, who was 90 at the time, so 12 years ago, called me and said, "When are you and Liz getting married?" I was like, why? I don't know. Why? We had no intention of it, although, I felt like we should have because I'm on the board of the center. But so I called Liz, said, "I don't know what's going on with your mom, but she called me." So she called, "Mom, what's going on?" And her mom said, "I just want to put a little fire under Susan's butt." So then we both went and got at some event, like fundraiser for, I think, the center, Peppy, who was a jeweler who's still a jeweler but back in the 80s, I had a bunch of her rings, was auctioning off, and I put my hand up and got bid on, a dollar amount for rings. So Liz and I then eventually got married at the Justice of the Peace. Liz's mom went with us. She picked me up at the restaurant. I had a chef jacket on. Liz had on a Marvel t-shirt because she's a comic book fan and a collector. And we went to the Justice of the Peace. Oh, this is a long story. Should I tell you it really quickly?
Yeah,
okay.
I want to know it.
So we decided, okay, fine, we'll get married for Liz's mom, whatever. So a friend of ours who was a lawyer said, "Here, I know these 3 or 4 people, pick one." I picked one, and it was Zeke Zeidler. Judy Zeidler, do you know who she is? His family, Zeidler, were partners with Bruce Martyr at the deli that was on 3rd Street Promenade. Blanking the name of it. But whatever, sort of. And Judy Zeidler had a kosher Jewish cooking show on, like PBS.
Okay. Yeah,
anyways, I realized that Zeke was their son eventually, but we went there to the Children's Courthouse in downtown LA, where we went with Liz's mom, Addie, and Liz and I. And he had wanted to know, did we want to do vows? No, blah, 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 blah. We just wanted to get married on Friday the 13th. So we'd remember the day. So when we got up there on the judge's stand up there, and there was like toys, pictures and toys, kids' toys everywhere, because it was a children's courtroom, which Liz loved because she's like a 13-year-old boy. And we go up there and he starts to tell this story about Friday the 13th. So back when it was not the patriarch, but a matriarchal society, Friday was the holy day and 13 was the lucky number. So when the patriarchal took over, they wanted to make Friday and 13 the sort of bad days, the evil days. So Friday the 13th became an unlucky, 13 became an unlucky number because they wanted to make it the patriarch to change the whole thing. So we were like, Friday the 13th is perfect for us. So
Yeah.
anyways,
I love that.
that's when we got married. But what I was telling you, so I have many years later, we finally went and got our rings. Liz got hers like 3 years before me. Then I got mine made by Pepe. So I have our wedding ring. I have my mother's engagement band that here, and I have my grandmother's wedding band there from 1917.
Wow.
It's cool,
I love
right?
that. I'm not wearing it because I'm going with gold today,
Yeah.
but when I wear silver, I have a nice like silver like pinky ring with like a black onyx like stone in it. It's like just super old school vintage. It was my grandfather's.
Oh, how
And my
great.
grandfather died when my dad was like, I don't know, like 8 or something. So like my dad barely knew him, let alone me.
Right.
And I was wearing it at Burning Man, and it was this year, like a couple weeks ago, and it was like the first time I kind of really spiritually connected with it in a way where my grandfather's name was George. Him and my Taita Rose, they came from Lebanon, from Beirut. They emigrated to the US.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, like there was something about wearing that ring, and I would just call it, I would say, I'd be like, it would fall off in the sink when I was washing dishes, and I'd be like, "You're not getting away from me, Georgie,"
Sweet.
And I'm just like calling this ring George, and I don't. It was like maybe the cool spiritual thing I took from Burning Man this time around.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Have you ever
Yeah.
been there?
I haven't been.
I
Yeah.
think you would dig it.
Yeah.
It's wild, but
Yeah.
the spirituality side of it, I think you would dig.
Yeah.
And you probably have fun putting together some cool outfits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, are you ready for the flavorful 5?
All right. Maybe. We'll see.
I've been asking every chef this season these 5
Okay.
questions.
Good.
What's the best sandwich you've ever had?
Bay Cities.
Ooh,
Bay Cities, the Godfather.
that fucking sandwich goes hard.
That is a fabulous sandwich. I have to say that's my favorite sandwich I can remember.
I'm probably going to go get one after this to bring back to Beverly Hills.
They're so good.
Live the good life.
They're so good.
Heard. What's your favorite street food?
Pani puri in India.
Will you explain what that is for the folks out there that aren't familiar?
Yeah, it's a puff, like a chickpea puff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the sauce or the liquid that's in it has got black salt and cilantro, so it's got a very particular taste to it, very, very earthy. And then it can be, usually it's stuffed with like a potato bhujia of some sort, like potato with cumin and curry neem and that. And when you get it on the street, you get the puff, it's all stuffed, and then they pour the juice in it and you pop it in your mouth, and just, it's this like amazing hit of flavors.
Wow. I've had that once in the US at a great Indian restaurant. I've never been to India. I'd love to go one
It's
day.
amazing. You would love it. It's amazing.
You ever consider doing one of those like chef tours where they like, would get you to, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean be a chef and take people around?
Yeah.
That?
To India?
No.
Fuck that.
I just am at such a different point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I for sure for years did all those events where you did like Hawaii, and it was an amazing way to travel and to do stuff and be around your peers. But I just got, I don't know, I got done with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't think those events are
Yeah,
important.
no,
I
it's
do.
a lot of work, and I'm just trying to angle my way into getting you to take me around India, okay? So if we're not going to open it up to other people, that's fine. We can
Just
keep
be-
it just the 4 of us, and maybe let it be 6 to 8 people. This will be interesting then. Speaking of India, what is the one spice that to you is like the holy grail of spices?
Oh my God. That is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would narrow it down to 3.
All right, let's go.
Cumin,
Knew it.
curry neem,
Okay.
hoja
Awesome.
santa.
Hoja Santa, badass.
Those are like, I mean, those are just the spices that I'm like, these are such great flavors. Like Hoja Santa is so unique. Curry neem is so, you just don't, you can't compare it.
You're buying Hoja Santa for the kitchen right now? You
Yeah.
getting like big bags
And
of
I have a
leaves in?
huge Hoja Santa bush in our backyard.
Amazing.
And that I got from a sous chef, like they're about 6 inches big,
Aw.
100 years ago, and it just spreads like we. I've got a curry neem bush in our backyard.
Can you tell me about curry neem? Because I don't think I'm familiar with the plant or the spice.
It's incredible in the Indian kitchen. It's a leaf, like the lime leaf,
Okay.
but it's called curry neem. It's neem, and you have to get it. You got to
Okay.
get it fresh. You can get it fresh at an Indian market.
Okay.
The leaf.
And it's like,
You put it, like you fry it in a little bit of oil and put it at the end, like with basmati rice or with, masoor dal or something like that. And it's,
would you put it in like a curry as
Yeah,
part of an
yeah.
aromatic building?
yeah,
Like,
you could. It'd be like adding basil at the end, but you
Uh-huh.
sort of fry it up to pull out the oil, the flavor of it.
like, would you use it like a macroot lime leaf or like a bay leaf or?
You'd use it more like you might, you know how you, like in Thai kitchen, you take lime leaf and you would chop it up and use it as part of where bay leaf you don't.
Okay.
Whereas lime leaf, you do.
Is it like musty or?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. I gotta.
It's so amazing.
We all have a mission.
I
out
mean, you
here.
know how when you take Hoja Santa and you bite it, it's
Yeah.
like, wow.
There's nothing like it.
So same even with a curry neem leaf, you do that and it's wow. And then once you fry it up, it's like even wow.
Awesome. What a great answer. What's an ingredient that you overuse, but really just don't care that you overuse it because you love that fucking ingredient?
I mean, what do people say I overuse? Salt and acid vinegar.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't see how you do things without salt and acid.
Heard. Agreed, chef. All right. You can only eat at one restaurant for the rest of your life. What is it? It doesn't matter where it is.
You
Don't
mean
worry about
a
travel.
restaurant or the type of food?
A particular restaurant.
Oh,
You can cook whatever you want. And you can even eat at your own restaurants too. But if you're going to go out to somebody else's restaurant for the rest of your
Anywhere.
life, anywhere in the world, you've got to pick one place.
Oh my God.
Travel doesn't factor in.
Well, it's really interesting. I'll tell you why. Because when Liz and I travel, honestly, Sammy, we eat on the street.
Mm-hmm.
On the street. So it's not even, we like barely ever go into restaurants. I mean, not ever, but barely. So, but let me just, where? Oh my God. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it would definitely be ethnic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would definitely be ethnic. We ate at the most amazing, I can't even remember, Indian restaurant in, where was it? It was in, Liz might remember the name. It was it was in Scotland.
Okay.
It was an Indian restaurant next to a bar where we went to Scotland mainly to hear mountain music.
Okay.
Ireland and Scotland, mountain music. And I don't remember the name of theirs. It was
Can you call Liz and ask her if she remembers?
the name of that
I think
restaurant.
we all need to know this. When was this? Like, do you think this place is still open?
It was probably 10 years ago.
All right. It might still be open.
It might.
I feel like we need to know this.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll remember
All right.
the name.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we find out what this is, I will include it in the description of the show
Okay.
so that everybody can go there.
Can't you call it the no name?
Yeah. Right now, it's the best Indian restaurant in the fucking world.
In
Happens to be in
Scotland.
Scotland.
I know.
I mean,
it's
and I'm going to
crazy.
say that it's got to be fucking legit because
it
you
was
go to
really
India.
good. Yeah.
You've been
it was
traveling
really
to
good.
India, and your favorite street food is Indian street food.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to get dialed in on what this
Yeah.
place is.
Yeah.
So last question of the day, chef. What's a dish that just really satisfies your soul, but you've got to cook it because like the joy and the ritual of cooking it is part of like what hits the spot for you.
Well, I have a few of those.
We all do.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just like if it was going to be a simple thing, which I don't even eat very much anymore, it would be an amazing ribeye.
Mm. What about what you're making for us today?
Well, this is even simpler. I mean, I think avocados and artichoke are probably my two most favorite foods. I could eat avocados with olive oil and salt every day of my life. I could mash avocados and have it with feta or goat cheese and olive oil and lime every day.
Love it.
Of course, I love guacamole when it's made fresh. I love making, I'm going to make the simplest like corn quesadilla that with a little bit of freshly made guacamole is like, and if I had carnitas, I'd put that into it too, because it's like, those three things just are satisfying. And probably because I've had that kind of thing for breakfast for the last 40 years when I walk into the restaurant.
I love it. And done with the intention and attention to detail of a great chef, which is what, I think makes it truly special and remarkable is like, this isn't just a quesadilla with guac. This is like fucking
simple.
It's the thing that's going to satisfy the soul. I also like learned some really great techniques on how to make guacamole from a video you did years ago. And so like just saying like, listen, this is kind of like how I like my avocados, just ripe and letting it kind of stay a bit chunky. And ever since then, I've just thought like anytime I get guac that's like overly mixed, it doesn't have that texture, or it's like I used to pick out avocados differently.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, if I'm going to use it today, let me find the just right.
It's like perfect.
Not the ripe. And it makes a big difference.
It really does. And I'll tell you, because Mary Sue and I, for many years, we were spokespeople for the California Avocado Commission. And they gave us each 2 trees. One of mine got eaten by a deer completely.
Bastard.
And the other one I had put behind like fencing so it couldn't happen. Never got an avocado for, honest to God, at least 10, 12 years. Never. Then we went through the Getty fires and we had to be evacuated for like 4 months. I have no idea if that changed it, but last year, 2 years ago, we got like 3 avocados. Like, wow. Last year, tons of avocados, and already again this year,
life is
tons
good.
of avocados. And you pick that avocado from the tree, and then you pick it unripe. And then it has to sit for like 10 days, different than in the store when you buy an avocado. And you cut that open, it's like, okay, that is fucking delicious. Different than a store-bought avocado.
How do you hold them? Do you put them in like a paper bag, or do you just leave them out?
I just leave them out.
Just leave in the sun or
no,
on the counter?
Just on the counter. And they do take a long time to ripen. And even the ones that are small, compared to a little bit bigger, and the texture's a little bit different, but they're so different than any store-bought avocado. It's so interesting.
Wow.
It's really interesting. It's like such a treat. Such a treat.
Heard, Jeff. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me today. It's been so cool to hear these stories. And I think everybody out there listening has really enjoyed it.
Thank you. It was great. I love the work that you're doing. I wish I was participated more in it, but
oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You've always made the time for me, and it's meant the world to me. I can't say thanks enough.
Thank you. That's great work that you're doing, and it's so important. You need to like keep on going and take our place and continue on doing really important work.
I'm doing my best. I mean,
You
you're
are?
still leading by example, so I still got role models.
Good.
Well, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Repertoire is part of Heritage Radio Network, where we're on a mission to build a more equitable and sustainable food future, and your engagement is what keeps the lights on. So if you dug today's episode, please hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. The Good Food Movement is all about community, and together we can make a meaningful impact.